Hello everybody and welcome back. We have one more knife review for you here today. This is the Kudu. It's another cold steel knife. This is the cheapest one that I have. It would definitely be a low entry level knife. It's kind of a keychain pocket knife, I guess. Not real pretty. Doesn't offer you a whole lot of features, but I mean, this is a $9 knife. You could probably get it even cheaper than that. Now, what are the important things about a knife? Well, it needs to be sharp, it needs to have a good point, and it needs to be safe and durable would be nice. Okay. This is definitively an exotic type knife. A lot of plastic there, probably polypropylene. Oh, look at that. Dun, 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 dun. 4166 stainless steel. Oh, it's actually Zytel, and I don't see, it doesn't tell what the other part of it is, but Zytel is a glass-filled composite, so it's actually a very strong one, very strong material. I have a couple of other knives, and instead of cracking like a lot of plastics, if it actually takes enough damage, a little tiny chunk will actually chip out of it instead of any of the rest of it being damaged. It's a really incredible material. We'll do the standard cut test. This has a curve only at the end of the blade, so not sure how great a cut's going to do. And maybe you're supposed to do something with this. I don't think so. That's the way you lock the mechanism, so we're going to leave that alone. And cut test 1. Well, it's the least sharp so far. Let's try vertical, maybe. Well, you know what? I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to get a new piece of paper. Because it's really not fair, after I've held that in my hand however many times, to do the cut test that way. First, we'll try just one sheet of paper. I don't really care much for this method, but this knife appears to be less sharp than the other cold steel knives. And I think what I'm seeing here is there's an imperfection on the blade, which is causing it not to cut. Because it starts off nice and sharp. Yeah, there's a dull void on the blade there. Yeah, if you cut with the tip, or the area right there, it's plenty sharp. There's a void. This is the first cold steel knife I found that actually had, we're not going to call it a defect per se, but anything that didn't show the utmost quality. I mean, this is a $9 knife. I mean, this is a really big knife for $9. So. Now, this is the only knife I've handled here that I can actually say that I really don't know how to handle it. It's a very weird, I mean, it's like a straight razor, really. It's a very strange knife. And it is pretty sharp, but it does not make the 2 sheets. It's a 1-sheeter. Cardboard? Well, what the heck. We'll try cardboard cut. You cut cardboard okay. I think the paper just wasn't offering up enough resistance, actually. I think this knife is plenty sharp. It's just not as razor sharp as the other ones. Tip test. Tip went through pretty easily. Cut test was good. And across that chunk of cardboard. Okay. So, in a real world useful scenario, this knife doesn't have any deficit, no detractor at all, because cutting paper really doesn't matter. cutting cardboard is obviously much harder, and it does it just fine. Now, the really interesting thing about this knife is that it's a ring lock. And apparently this originated in South Africa. It's a very weird thing. And instead of you having to buy this knife and then try to figure it out, I'll show you how it works. To lock it open, you did pretty much just like a lockback knife. But to close it, you pull this down, and you'll feel this lever, which is actually on the outside of the knife, unlike on any of the other ones. It pivots down, and it actually has like a gear that clicks it into place in each different position. So it's much safer than a lot of folding knives. I mean, we'll do the whole maneuver for you. Cut something. It's not silent. It is pretty safe. For the money, I would say this thing is a freaking steal. A Cold Steel. Okay. In a real world application for $9, it's a really good knife. This is probably the lowest rating of any Cold Steel knife I've rated so far. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It's good steel. It's good plastic. It's an interesting locking mechanism. I don't know if I would call it good per se, but I mean it works, and once you get used to it, it's good, I guess. We'll call it a 4 out of 5. It failed on the paper cut test, but that really isn't the most important thing in the world. It cut through cardboard quite well. So, we like it. 4 out of 5. Alright, everybody. We'll see you next time.